analytical techniques for decision making in agriculture. We have our chief guest for this session, Dr. Pratap Singh Bidthar. So welcome, sir, for this valedictory session. Like you have been kind enough to agree to this for delivering the valedictory address. Sir is there or not? He was there.
He was there. He was there.
Yes, yes. Okay. So first of all, so you can make your video on.
So our participants can see the chief guest.
Yes. सर का वीडियो नहीं आ रहा है.
सर शायद गाड़ी में
आ गया ना.
ओके. पिन कर दो जरा.
घर में है सर.
Yes, he is there. Yes, sir. Namaskar, sir.
Namaskar, Rajni. Namaskar.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much for joining, sir. We are going to begin the valedictory session of this 21 days training program. Like as you are aware that you have delivered one talk also on this in this training program in the first day of the training. So now, first of all, I would like to invite my course director, Dr. Subhash Chand, for welcome address. Dr. Subhash Chand.
Thank you, madam. Honorable chief guest, today's function, Dr. P.S. Bidthar sir, हमारे संस्थान में ही हैं. He is a national professor. I'll just give a brief biodata about him. So, sir, good afternoon to you and dear participants, my colleague of this institute, and those people who are have been joined this session, valedictory session of this training program. As you understand that it is a very lengthy program we have organized. Sir, as you know, because you have taken class also, you have already given them very good information and the lecture also. These are the some 170 people who have joined for this training program, and we have very big means number of applications were more. To people who are eager to attend this training program. So at this valedictory function, for the information of the participants, I'll just read some achievements, and I'll tell about the Professor Pratap Singh Bidthar, so that you will know, because though he is known to nationally and internationally, professionally very well to all of us, because we all belong to social science stream. So presently, Dr. Pratap Singh Bidthar is a national professor at this institute, and he has been selected as a NAS fellow also long back in 2010 itself, and he was born and brought up in Haryana. He belonged to Haryana. He did his master's from Haryana Agriculture University and PhD from IRI. His research area, as you all know, technology policy, institutional economics, livestock economics, and recently he is working on climate resilient agriculture and many more aspects which are very useful from the policy point of view. He is giving his recommendation and disseminating the findings professionally, nationally, and internationally. He has served many institutes. First, like IVRI in Jatnagar, and then this institute, and he has also worked, friends, in many international institutes like CRISAT, and he has been working he has worked for World Bank, CG system, and he has been member of many professional societies like Agriculture Economics, ERA, and he has been awarded this ICR Best Award, which is Rafiq Ahmed Kidwai Award, and as well as he has received many awards from the professional societies in India and as well as from abroad. He has written more than 100 paper, national and international papers. Great achievement. You can't imagine why. And he has published many policy papers and policy brief, books, book chapter and all. And we all are like he acts us as a guardian. He guide us, all of us. We enjoy his writings. Not we, our institute, but national and international professionals who are in the field of agriculture, economics, and the social science. So, sir, at this point of time, on this function, valedictory function, we welcome you on behalf of our participants, organizing committee, NCAP family, and on my personal behalf, we welcome you at this function, being a chief guest of the function. Friends, our director, due to some unavoidable circumstances, he is away from the institute, but he has.
Subhas, I'm listening.
Okay, sir.
With different name.
Welcome,
I will listen.
Okay, sir. Welcome.
I'm listening
I
with
have not
different
seen,
name,
sir.
and I will not. I may not be able to speak because of disturbance.
Okay, sir. Okay. So anyway, he's here. Technology has made us. He's with us. There is no problem. So he has given guidance and directions to organize this program, and we reached to the today's valedictory function because of under his guidance and motivation. Otherwise, it was a really difficult task for us to organize such a lengthy program and for so many number of participants. So we welcome you, sir, in this valedictory function. And friends, I also welcome to all the participants who had given their time and they very disciplined manner they have attended this program. I also welcome the and thanks your departments also who has sponsored you, who has spared you, because 21 days is a lengthy period. Friends, to organize any program, the ball start rolling month or many days before. So our organizing committee team members, particularly IT team, Dr. Rajni Jain, Dilip Kumar, Dinesh Kumar, and Vikas Kumar, we all these people have done a commendable work to complete this training program, and I welcome on this function to you also. I also welcome our institute scientists and other colleagues who are who have given their lectures and attending this program. I also welcome the all faculties, best faculty which we could try from inside as well as from the outside, from our sister institutes and universities who have given their best whatever they had for the benefit of the participants. So I welcome at this function to them also. One and all, I welcome all the people who are directly and indirectly who are engaged in for successfully completing this training program. One and all, thank you very much. Jay. Over to Dr. Rajan.
Thank you very much, Dr. Subhashchan, for welcoming the chief guest, director sir, and participants and faculty members of this training program. I also join you in welcoming each one of now to move further for this valedictory program. I will, 1 minute. I will start with the report of this training program, like the activities what we have for the last 21 days. So first of all, let me just share my screen, and I hope my screen is visible to each one of you. And
Yes, ma'am.
yes. So let me put it in slideshow. Yes. So yeah. So this training program, like we had, the training program is big, 21 days long training program. So our team, organizing team is also big. Along with me, Dr. Subhash Chand, Vikas ji, Dinesh Chand, Meena, Dilip Kumar, Mangal Singh Chauhan, and Khaliram Chaudhary ji, they join hand to hand in completing this task. So I have pleasure of presenting this report. So first of all, in this training, basically we had 829 before the due date. Even the applications were coming after the due date too, but before the due date, we had these many applications. Initially, we selected 170, but then some people who were in waiting list, they were also called. And there are like nearly 30% dropouts, or the persons who did not report for the training. So overall, we had nearly 120 or so attendance during the training program. So basically, as we can see, we have participation from entire NARS, including ICR as well as SAUs, and SAUs dominate the participants' representation. And we do have some 10% participation from other universities also. And regarding like we had fairly good gender balance, I think it matches with the faculty ratio in the NARS system. So we had nearly 40% females and 60% males. We do have some postgraduate students also, because they require these analytical techniques a lot for their research. So nearly 32% are the PG research students, and nearly 65%, 66% are doctorates, assistant professors, faculties, and scientists, and others, some postdoctorates are also there. In terms of social categories, we had sizable number of more than nearly 59% of SC students, and ST students, OBCs, and general students. So we have fairly good representation of all categories. Just to mention here that this training program has been organized under the SC/SP scheme of the government, from like which NIAP received from ICR. So we plan for developing the skills of our students who are the future, as well as the faculty members under this category. Besides, we took advantage of this online mode, and we provided the facility of listening to the lectures to all other classes also. Here, I would like to mention that since many participants were interested to attend this training program, so we have like after this selection of this 180 to others also, we sent email and sent them a link to attend this program on social media or outside the platform, as a attendee in the platform itself. Then as per disciplines, all social scientists mainly, but nearly 30% are from other disciplines also, like economics, nearly 50% agricultural economics, then 10% extension, 8% from statistics were there. So majority is from social science group, but there are some other disciplines also which requires analytical techniques for their research work. As per designation, it is mainly a majority of assistant professors, and like students. After that, students, 28% students are there, and rest are in different categories of associate professor, scientist, senior scientist, and subject matter specialists from KVKs and others. Then like this 21 days training program is unique in the sense that it required availability of continuous internet. So I feel proud in saying this. I think for the first time in these 21 days, we did not face a single signal drop during the entire training. So I would like to thank Mr. Mangal Singh Chauhan and Dilip ji for their efforts in making it continuously on for the participants. And also, since one kind of bottleneck in such training programs is lack of interaction among participants themselves. So for that purpose, we identified some days and we allowed them to interact freely among themselves without the coordinators or the organizers in the team, so that they can interact freely and plan for their group presentations. So like we simply wanted to know whether the internet facility is there with the participants or not. So we observed that there is still some sizable number where the internet connectivity is even though available, but not that good. So poor also. And this is just the ones who has registered. So out of that, almost all attended this inaugural program, and 3 were absent. So probably this was because of this internet connectivity. Then we also tried to know whether participants are attending with their desktop computers or phones. So this is even little bit surprising to me, because such kind of training programs, if you are attending with only phone, I don't think they can serve the purpose. So I find nearly 50% are attending this training program from their smartphones, and others from their laptop, desktop or tablet, so which is good enough. Since it was a bigger group, so we planned for having subgroups also. We divided as per our availability of the names. We divided them in 6 groups, 30 each, and we had core group representatives and co-representatives. So they were selected and we allowed them to interact among themselves, so that group leaders they can talk to us. Even otherwise also everyone was free, but still if they wanted to discuss, so discussions are possible in smaller groups. So that's how we made groups also. And then communication, as I was telling, that these training programs not only provide us lectures which are nowadays available even on YouTubes and other websites, free lectures are available, but interaction among the like-minded people is must. So we made a good use of these social websites and other social media. So for example, we used Facebook, NIAP Facebook page for communication about the training announcement. We used Google Forms for receiving their interest, and then we used our website for communicating the participants, as well as individual emails also we sent to 180 selected participants. And then feedback. Feedback is important. So here, this was also a challenge here. So lots of forms are there. So we made use of Google Forms for that. And for routine regular communication, we had 7 WhatsApp groups, 6 for the individual groups and 1 for the entire training participants. And we have 1 organizer coordinator also for monitoring the problems of these groups. So that's how we tried to involve everyone. We tried our best using whatever tools of communication are available for such kind of training programs. Now, coming to the how this conduct of training, we had inauguration on 5th February, where inauguration lecture was taken by our Honorable Director, sir. We had nearly 6 hours spent daily. 11:30 we started till 1:30 for the lectures which had theory as well as practical content, or which are big enough to demonstrate certain techniques. Then after lunch, we had one hour lecture where it was mainly on policy related issues. And then 3:30 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. again, we had a total time of 2 hours, where 1 hour was spent on theory and 1 hour was spent on practical aspects of the same topic. And since keeping in view that sometimes connectivity is not there with the participants, and because of online training, they are not relieved from their official duties. So we were sharing the daily recordings with the participants through the groups which we were creating, so that they can go through the lectures once again, and recordings are also available on YouTube. Then groups formation was done in the second, third day of the training program, to improve the interaction. And each group was also assigned the task of doing the implementation of the tools which are learned during the training program, along with the help of their group representatives as well as organizers. And even though this valedictory program is the day for distribution of certificates, but here we will be delivering the online certificates to the successful participants. Coming to the lectures, so we had 43 unique faculty and nearly 47 lectures, 4 sessions of group presentations by the participants. And the training had basically exposure of main highlight was R software, which is an open source software, because some of the participants, especially students and some universities, they are not able to provide access to the paid softwares. So we used this R software from the beginning wherever possible, but some techniques depending upon the faculty's expertise were demonstrated with the help of Stata, and then AI method was demonstrated with the help of Weka software. Sometime eViews, QGIS for this GIS map making, Stella for value chain modeling, Excel for optimization, and Survey Solution for online data collection and its comparison with the popular Google Forms like drawbacks and comparison, and then data envelopment analysis software for TFP and other things. Besides, we covered some sensitization lectures on emerging technologies, that is bioinformatics, artificial intelligence, deep learning for visioning by the computers, machine learning, GIS, and geospatial technology, especially for crop burning, crop residue burning, data identification, and some aspects on that, as well as yield prediction using this remote sensing data, and some other ways how these geospatial technologies are now being used in agriculture. And faculty, we had 51% faculty for this training from NIAP. Almost everyone presented in this training program regarding their expertise and the issues they were working on. We had 16% faculty from IRI, 30% from our sister institute ISRI, and 3% from IGFRI. Then we have these 4 categories of lectures. So like I can say 5 on emerging technologies, 32 on impact of technologies, and 15 on agricultural. These are in agriculture policy, and then software and statistical tools. So they were there. So this is the distribution of different categories of lectures. So these are some lectures which I am not going to read, like what are the lectures under a statistical tool. So they are nearly 24, basically, which says that at least one technique every day was demonstrated and given hands-on to the participants. Then these are some lectures on agricultural policies, and for impact, we did 2 lectures, one on DID model and one on PSM, propensity score matching. And these are on emerging technologies, which I had already talked about. Coming to the feedback. Feedback is important because it helps us to improve. So, and also for this purpose, our institute is following the ISO certification norms, and feedback, for feedback, Google Forms were used for getting the feedback for every lecture, also for getting the skill of the participants, and also knowledge before and after the training were also taken and analyzed. So overall rating of the training with everything that was also taken from the participants. So here, like even though we analyzed, but I am not going to show impact of each and every lecture, but just to have glimpse of like how this training program has impact on the skills of our trainees. So the left one here, it shows their knowledge level, which as perceived by our participants before the training, and the second one shows after the training. So we find that there are participants like who moved from low to other categories, because we do not find in post lecture feedback their knowledge regarding low. So they have moved to medium, and some medium moved to high, and some high moved to very high. So similar pattern was observed for others lectures also. Like this, we had micro irrigation policies. We find participant which were in very high category were very less. After the training, it is a good sizable number, and same is true for even high category. So this is like machine learning in crop yield forecasting. Again, we like very low level before the lecture, and after the lecture we find there is a sizable growth in the level of knowledge. So like this similar pattern is observed in each lecture. So I am not demonstrating even AI. Earlier participants did not have any knowledge, but after this they have a good, fairly high knowledge of the technique, what AI is. And like that, it is there for each and every lecture. Now, when the participants were asked about the overall rating, then we had nearly 60% who rated it as excellent and very good, and 38% put it in good category, and 3% they say we could not meet their expectation, I should say. Then okay, this is same thing. Then I would just like to have recap of this journey in terms of is very small photo gallery. This is our inaugural speech by Dr. Suresh Pal, director of the institute, and the training team along with the director on the inaugural day. And then these are some experts presentation screenshots in the progress. So like that we had for 47 lectures. So these are also experts presentations. And then one highlight was group presentation by the participants. So these are screenshots of some of the groups basically for during the training program. So this is all I wanted to represent for this training. Now, before we go further, I would just like to request the participants to give the feedback, their oral feedback here, so that we can improve in further, because this is going to be regular phenomena. It is a regular phenomena in NIAP So I would just request some of the participants to come forward and give their feedback. Maybe like either you can raise your hands, or I can call one or the other, and you can tell whether.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon to everybody.
Okay, welcome, Dr. Latika. Yeah, please.
Yeah, I'm Dr. Latika Sharma, working as Associate Professor in Agriculture Economics at MPUAT, Rajasthan. I wish to convey my deepest appreciation actually for the NIAP team who has worked so hard for this training and for this virtual online program on analytical techniques. Especially, I would like to mention the work of the course coordinator, Dr. Subhash Chandra ji, who was always there present, seeing that everything is going on in a very smooth manner, and Dr. Rajni madam, and Dr. Vikas Kumar, Dilip Kumar, and all the other persons who were involved in the organizing of this training. Regarding the feedback, madam, this training was basically unique in many aspects. First of all, I think it had so many participants which were never participated in any training in or any winter school. So because of it being in virtual mode, so a lot of the participants got advantage of joining in the lectures and by enriching their knowledge through the lectures, awesome lectures that you created. Then second point was that the selection and coverage of all that analytical techniques, it was so comprehensive that starting from the exploratory data analysis to the propensities to score matching and machine learning and artificial intelligence, I think all the latest analytical techniques have been covered. And they were, the resource persons were so wide coverage from their institutes, and their expertise was so good, and they also tried all the applied aspects, all the hands-on training that they gave. That was very useful, because theoretical basis we all have as being the faculty members in this social sciences, agriculture, economics. But what we lack is that we don't get time for the hands-on training, or we either do only one or two type of analytical techniques, and rest of all we basically have medium knowledge or less knowledge. So it was the biggest, I think, advantage of this training that we got from it. Then the biggest advantage, another advantage that we got was the exposure part. Exposure was very good. The in state agriculture universities, sir, what we lack is exposure, because we work in our individual states problems, the problem basically of agriculture in that state. So at the national level, what is going on and what type of analytical techniques are being used, that we sometimes miss. So the biggest point, positive point for this training was that the exposure was very good. And whatever lacuna was there, that was from, I think, from our part only, because it being on an online mode and we having all the routine work going on. So we had to unwillingly miss some of the lectures, but because the recordings were given by the organizers, so that part was, I think, made good for. And we got all the recordings of all the lectures, and so we can see to them and also take part in that. So this is all from my side, madam. I again congratulate to all the organizers and the whole team of NIAP who contributed so much hard work for our course. Thank you so much.
Hello, am I audible, madam?
Yes,
Hello?
sir. Yes, ma'am. Boliye.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Today, chief guest, respected Dr. Pratap Singh, sir, and the chief patron of our training program, respected Dr. Suresh Pal Sirji, Director ICR NIAP, course directors Dr. Rajni Madam Ji, Dr. Subhash Chand Sirji, course coordinators Vikas Kumar Sirji, Dr. DC Meena Sirji, and Dilip Kumar Ji. First of all, I would like to thanks to the organizer for selecting me as a participant for this training program. From 21 days, I was listening lectures, and all the lecture was very informative, very good, and also very well managed. The advanced application oriented lectures was covered during the training program, like artificial intelligence and decision making, tree discriminant analysis, cluster analysis, principal component analysis, micro irrigation policy, meta analysis, and many more. I learned specially from this training program how to do the statistical analysis in R software, and also we learned that how to decode the data in Stata software. And whatever I gained from this training program, that will be definitely helpful in my future research journey. And in lacuna side, I observed that the participation in the project presentation was very low. Then we need to think on that for the future training program. And on the behalf of all participants, I am very much thankful to the whole team of organizing team of training program for giving such a informative training for us. Thank you one and all.
Thank you.
Good evening, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ma'am, this is Kirti Tripathi from Krishi Vigyan Kendra Bulandshahr. And first of all, I would like to thank all the organizer for giving me a chance to give feedback for winter school attended. First of all, on behalf of all the participants, I would like to give you all a huge round of appreciation, which is actually required. You know, online programs are really complex to coordinate and manage. You know, when the people are in a classroom, it is really easy to club all the things together. But when we all are from so much distant places and sitting online, you know, it is really hard to club all the things together. So I would stand out to say that your efforts were commendable. This was indeed a very beautifully designed program, ma'am, including so much of scientific technologies and the analytical approaches, which we actually thrive to learn for. You know, most of us are here are economists, but some of us are not. And you know, we always want to learn and inculcate all these technologies in our researches. And each lecture was properly justified in terms of usefulness and satisfaction indeed. I was just this is a little personal, ma'am. I was just telling my boss today in the morning that why didn't I do this program offline? Means I wasted my these, you know, I just said this was the first time I was doing this program like in online mode, this type of program, learning so many techniques together. I was telling him that, sir, you have to give me another chance to go for 21 days and attend this program in NIAP, because I really want to learn these things physically and do these things experimentally. It was really difficult for all of us to managing the official things and then taking these lectures, ma'am. So you did all, but some of the lacuna was from our part. And last but not least, every organizing member, you know, be it Vikas sir, Dilip, or Meena sir, Subhas sir, and the statue of humbleness, our Rajni ma'am, was there to you know, listening all the phone calls and listening all the things we used to say her. So it was indeed a very beautiful thing, ma'am. And thank you so much. And I would suggest, ma'am, ki next year or maybe this year, please again a small short program of 10 days, maybe taking some techniques, and just call us, we'll come there. Thank you so much, all the organizers.
Good afternoon, ma'am. This is Dr. Govind Rao from Acharya Andiranga Agriculture University, Andhra Pradesh. Good afternoon, one and all.
Please go ahead.
Especially, let me congratulate the National Institute for Agriculture Economics and Research Policy Research, because I have a given good chance to participate in the prestigious workshop, winter school training. Actually, I was not selected, but due to my request and the interest on the topic, the organizing committee have been selected. So on behalf of the Acharya Andiranga Agriculture University, I have learned so many things, especially the reputed scientist was given the lectures, and each and every lecture was very informative and excellent. So based on this, we have gained so much knowledge, especially in statistics. Of course, we have the scientist or assistant professor in statistics and computer applications. We have know something, but as far as the economics contents are very, very informative. And we have learned something, not something, we have learned more. So once again, I am wholeheartedly thanks to the organizers, especially as far as Naira, it is a very rural college, and except BSNL, there was no, network is here. Many of the times we are disconnected, but the organizing members immediately and joined in the, given the permission to join the, training program. So thank you very much for giving the opportunity. And if there is any mistake, please pardon me, madam. So once again, I'm congratulating the chief, thanking the director and the organizing committee, especially the Rajni Jain madam Garu and Dilip ji. So once again, I'm wholeheartedly thank you very much, madam. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you. Anyone would like to give some suggestions also for further improvement? Anyone else?
Good evening, madam. This is Dr. David Chelavaskar from Rani Lakshmibai Central Agriculture University, Jhansi. So this was a beautiful journey of 21 days. And really we have been gaining lots of knowledge and updation are there in our technical aspect. And each and every session was much more interesting, that we are really updated in all terms of our analytical skills. The selection of the resource person gets a great applause, because that's what the role of NIP. NIP is given such a knowledge to us. So this will really add weightage to all the faculties, to the scientists, those who are involved in the research column. So I am much thankful to all the wonderful organizers, for the post directors and all the official members from NIP. Thanking you, madam. Thanking you all.
Thank you. One last.
Good evening, ma'am. This is Ritambhara.
Yeah.
Respected director, sir, respected Dr. Bithal, sir, and respected team members, Dr. Subhashan, sir, Dr. Rajni, ma'am, Dr. Dilip, Dr. Vikas, Dr. DC Meena, sir. This is actually on behalf of the 32 group people in my group. I would like to thank you for giving us this opportunity. In fact, I was also like sir, who got this opportunity second time, and I have been trying for last 4 to 5 years to get a training with ICR and IP on the techniques. I especially would like to highlight here, because we working with the universities are engaged in teaching research and also with the extension exercises. These tools were helpful to us to connect better with our students, because I'm the one why I was more interested. I teach research methodology and especially the techniques that appealed me the most in this changing world, why AI is coming into the fray, and then switching regression, on which I have been struggling for last 1 year or so, and I was not finding to reading to the international papers what to do with the behavioral analysis, and especially the data envelopment tools that I have been applying for assessment of FPOs. So many things we have learned, and this is something that we are passing to our students. So this kind of exercise is very important. And the group exercise also led us to know each other better, so that we can develop a network all over India of agricultural economists and other scientists having same kind of interest, and we shall be working more in coordination with each other. So thank you so much, NIAP. And finally, just a suggestion, ma'am, if you can please conduct it again in offline mode, that will be really, really great. I would also request a 10 days short course will work for us. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Ritambhara. So I know many other participants want to give their feedback, but maybe you can give in chat box or in writing. We would certainly take whatever feasible for us. So thank you once again for your important feedback, participants. Now, I would just like to invite our chief guest, Professor Bithal ji, for his remarks on the training and his valedictory address. Professor Bithal.
Thank you. Thank you, Rajni. Dr. Sureshpal is still available?
Sir is there, but I think he was saying that it is.
I'm listening. I'm listening.
So, Have you
That's
reached
all.
Kanyakumari, sir?
Okay, please continue.
No, have you reached Kanyakumari or still
Just now.
at Niyap?
He said
Okay,
Just
good afternoon,
just
friends.
landed.
Good afternoon,
Yeah, please.
friends. It's really, a very interesting kind of feedback from the people and on the contents and organization of this webinar, 21-day webinars. So let me thank the organizers, particularly for sharing my thoughts and interact with the participants in this concluding function of 21 days webinar. Well, friends, I am not a chief guest. I am one of you.
yes.
And who always, look forward to interact with young minds, learn from them, and sometimes, of course, to say something just to make them work better. Okay. So I'm not the chief guest. I'm one of them, and I'm always open to positive criticisms, even though, of course, people might be doing something negative, but it is always open to positive criticism on personal and professional friends. Well, friends, I find this is a very unique, kind of program. And I consider it's a very unique opportunities for all of us, particularly the young people, to learn the emerging techniques, analytical techniques, And if you go back sometime, say 20, 25 years back, or maybe 30 years back when we used to be students. So these techniques, they were rare. Only thing is what we used to learn something on, say, regression analysis, linear regression, or Cobb-Douglas production function, and then, of course, the linear programming kind of things. So if you go back and search the thesis, even at the IRI, you will find most of the students either applying the linear programming techniques or some kind of, regression and kind of techniques. Despite the fact that at that time, there was a strong group. There were a few good teachers to teach econometrics and the methodologies, statistical methodologies for application in agricultural economics research. Now, one thing is that important from this, what I found is that it's a really amazing to see that a good response, 829 applications, It's not a small number of the people. And this clearly shows that people are looking forward to this kind of information, this kind of teaching of analytical techniques, and perhaps they might have missed this, or they might have not been taught during their post-graduation studies. And in today's world, of course, without these techniques, you cannot publish paper in high impact journal, nationally or internationally. So gone are those days when we used to just prepare some graphs or compare means and standard deviations and publish papers. Of course, now you can also publish it now, but it all depends, what kind of research you are doing. If it is somewhat unique and it doesn't require this kind of thing. You might have heard the name of Professor Narpat Singh Jodha. If you read his papers, you will rarely find any application of the statistical tools or econometrics, simple frequency analysis, tabular analysis, but he addressed the unique problems of the agrarian sector. And that's why he was, he is still remembered as a very good natural resource economist in the country. His work on collectives, particularly on Rajasthan, still it is highly quoted. Now, of course, that another important thing that what I observed from Dr. Rajni Jain's presentations. Now, most of the participants, they are highly qualified. 68% of them, what I observed, that were having the PhD degree or the postdoctoral degree, and 32% of course the postgraduate. And most of them, they are the students, and that's really a good sign, because it is the young people, particularly assistant professor, who are eager to learn, and the scientists, students. So let this suit the assistant professor or the associate professor, what so they have learned from this, they should pass on to the students. And if required, we are ready to help you. Our team, we can manage another because there is a lot of demand for offline organization, and we are always open to that. So anytime you can discuss with the faculty members here. And somebody, I was looking at the chat box that they were asking the mobile numbers, sharing the mobile numbers of the resource persons. But for that, maybe we have to seek their permission. So, but you can contact those people. You might have interacted with them. Just request them, send an email. Okay, I am lacking in this, and if you can help me in that. Now, another observation, my observation, of course, that it's a highly balanced, gender balanced program. 40% of participants are women, and women are, they are always eager to learn and learn more and everything. So this is very good. And moreover, this is a multidisciplinary kind of things. You cannot satisfy, of course, in such a program to everyone. As Rajni has said that there were some people who maybe we could not meet their expectations, but my request is identify who are these people and discuss with them how we can improve upon that, why they were not satisfied. Despite that, we identified very good lectures and very good resource persons. So we can just ask them why you were not satisfied, so that it will provide us an opportunity to improve upon. Now, moreover, another feature, of course, that theory and practice combined. So maybe in a kind of virtual mode, it is really difficult, to go for hand holding of every person. But in the offline mode, of course, the theory and practice, what I feel it is really important because of the theory, how you can apply to your problems, solve the problems. And moreover, there are a number of lectures, particularly on the emerging technologies, be it the bioinformatics or artificial intelligence or machine learning or geospatial kind of modeling and all those kind of things. Now, well, friend, I think that this kind of program, it might have might be helping many of you in solving your research problem, applying the research problem, and you have learned because this number 180 people who joined this program. Now this shows the quest for learning of the new techniques, new methods, okay, and acquiring new knowledge. And I am 100% sure that you will be sharing your knowledge. So those who could not attend from your institutions, maybe they are your friends or colleagues and students. So through the teaching, through interaction, and through your research, you will be able to share this knowledge to these peoples. Now, for you, the organizer, it was really I appreciate your efforts. I congratulate the entire team led by Dr. Rajni Jain and Dr. Subhash Chand, because why I say that organizing 47 lectures, okay, and that also plus theory and practice, and 24, techniques. Now, first of thing is that identified 24 techniques, it's really very difficult, statistical or analytical techniques. And I think that you might have overburdened the participants with those 24 techniques. My question is that my suggestion is that in the future, whatsoever you do, let it focus on one or two technologies, and thoroughly ask the participants to come with your data sets and then thoroughly help them to learn the technologies, the theory as well as the practice. So this will, I think, it will be quite nice, because in 24, everybody cannot master these techniques. So maybe even if most of them, if they master one or two techniques, which are really interesting and applicable or more required in agriculture research, so that would be a great contribution for that. Well, friends, and why I say, because our success, it depends on the success of the participants. We invest time, we invest resources, and just for, so that our colleagues, those who are located in the remote areas or the agriculture universities, so they may learn and they pass on the knowledge to their colleagues, to their students. So now what of course, and I request all of you, please, at least apply one of the technique to the research problem which you are handling it, so that it will also infuses confidence in us. It is not only that, okay, you have attended the lecture, but when we see that, okay, this fellow who attended this training program, he has applied this technique in his research. You publish it, share with this, then it will be really, very thrilling for us, and it will infuse a lot of confidence in our team also. Now, why I'm saying that often I have seen people when it was particularly in the offline mode. So I often used to go to maybe at a NIAP or in the IRI, that excellence program, deliver the lecture, go for some kind of hand holding and all these people in exercising. So at that time, there is a lot of enthusiasm among the participants to learn the techniques. And then when I used to say at the end, okay, will you apply it in your research? Yes, sir, yes, sir. But what happens once they are out of the classroom, the technique is also out of their mind. So please imbibe what has been taught to you so that it can help improve your professional career and also professional careers of the younger generation whom you are teaching or with whom you are working. Now, this was a great opportunity, what I feel, for all of us, including the teachers, including the students, to acquire, knowledge about the new technologies. And today's world, particularly in economics, particularly in the economics field, in today's world, it's really very difficult, as I said, to publish in the high impact journals unless you apply some good techniques. You may be facing some problems in application of any of the technique. Maybe either you have not properly grasped the technique that has been taught to you, or which are you applying to your problem, or the data at hand. Sometimes what happens, okay, we have the data, let me put this technique. You cannot apply all the technique to all types of data sets, to all types of problems. Okay, say for example, if we are interested in applying the difference in difference approach, for that you required a good data set, pre and post kind of interventions. Okay, now if you want to assess the impact of some kind of intervention taken made at a state level in a particular state, say for example, you might have been taught this synthetic control matching technique by Dr. Prabhat Kishore. That's a very good technique. Okay, the state has made or the district has made this kind of intervention, and you can just compare what happened, what was the pre-intervention kind of scenario, and then after the pre-intervention kind of scenarios. So this is the technique where you can apply, okay, at a macro level kind of things, not at the micro level kind of things. So my question is that, okay, you choose the technique appropriately, which suits to your problems and the data set at your hand. Now, then, of course, some suggestion where we commit the mistakes particularly. Okay, if you want to run a simple kind of regression, say yield is a function of this. So we include all types of variables. Have we really identified the appropriate variables there? Not necessarily that there should be a huge list of the variables, 30, 40, 50 variables. Let it be, say 4, 5, 6, which are really pertinent. So when you include more of the variables, of course, that regression analysis may not capture the impact of the irrelevant kind of things, but there are some kind of, relevant variables, but you have to identify them properly. For example, there may be a few variables, they might be correlated. Multicollinearity may be a problem. For example, if you take the case, then the age of the household and the education of the households. So these are, you will find that these are often correlated. In time series analysis, you must look for a random behavior in that time series, and go for, some kind of stationary. You must also look for kind of the autocorrelation, how to transform these variables. So these are some of the things which you must, look into your data and having selected the technique which you are going to apply. Then the more importantly, it becomes what you want to address. What are your research questions? What are your hypotheses? Okay, so you build upon that, and then accordingly you see what is the data set which is available with you, clean the data, look for the missing data, look for the outliers. You know, particularly sometimes what happens, we are using the huge data set, particularly situation analysis survey of farmers, about 60,000 households. And definitely there will be some missing observation. There will be some, you know, outliers. And when we go for this kind of, you know, even for the simple descriptive statistics, we don't find that, okay, our mean or the average for a particular doesn't match with what is there in the report, because the report has not considered what is presented in the report. SAS report, it has not considered all these kind of things, missing data or even the outliers. So there may be a kind of problem. So look for clean the data for all these kind of things. And then of course, I have already spoken. Then of course, then once you have chosen your model, then you go for some kind of, you know, model specification tests. What do I mean to model specification tests? Does your model is appropriately identified? No, you select some model and it is not identified properly, then it will give the wrong results, you know. Then if there is a wrong, I tell you, this is one of, it's a real example, and I don't want to name. Now, sometime back, you know, maybe about 15, 20 years back, somebody estimated the demand elasticity for milk using the state level data, and it was too high. So when we questioned it, then his response was, that's a model ke results. So we should not blame. So that means what kind of information you are feeding in the model. So we will get a similar kind of the results. If you feed good data, you use good technique, then you will find the good results. So how you are going to handle all these kind of, so you look at the model specification test, and there are a number of, you know, test, chi-square test you can use, the NEF statistics or LR test, all these kind of things you do it. Now, once you have estimated or you have your model, so what you do? Okay, you look for the sign and significance of the coefficients. You know, now sometimes, you know, as I said, that may be a problem of multicollinearity. Now, with the sign of the two variables, we are expecting to be in the same direction or maybe significant, but because of multicollinearity problem, they not be carrying the same sign, they may be having the opposite signs, and then we are puzzled. Now, when I was a scientist at the Indian Veterinary Research Institute, of course, that biological scientists, they don't use much of the statistical data, but the t-test, ANOVA, and all these kind of things. So there, the students used to come to the statistician. I used to share a room with 4 or 5 statisticians. So they used to come, sir, उनका result तो बड़ा significant आया, मेरा नहीं आया. You know, so that is important. So maybe there is some problem with the data, maybe some problem with the calculations, and even if it is there, then you can, okay, you feel these are the important variables, these need to be tracked, and you rerun or transform the variables, because particularly maybe the scared terms or the interactions kind of things and all these kind of things. Then, of course, what I observed, you know, that the interpretation of the results. So what happens now? What is there? We are in the tables. We just reproduce in the text. That is not the correct way. Okay, that is not the correct way. You have the knowledge of the techniques. You have applied the techniques, but until unless you interpret your results properly, okay, then it's really very difficult that to justify, or even if you have the good results and all, that's your paper, there are very high chances that your paper may not be accepted for that. So please do this kind of thing. Another problem what I observed is the paper that I will receive in ERA. You prepare a huge number of tables. Basically, the paper is a data mine. Family size, land holding size, caste, another table, experience, another table. Just produce a simple descriptive statistics. If you are comparing the two groups or not comparing descriptive statistics of the variables in a single table, that conveys a lot of meaning in that. And then again, when you try to write your results, then go for a kind of logical sequencing. Try what is the pure problem and what you expect. So, okay, these are the likely to be the most important variables in addressing this kind of problem. Begin with the most important variables, description of those kind of variables. Don't say, okay, the family size of this household, this group is this much, this is, but it is not relevant. Even I say that you may leave this if it is not related to your problem. Now, if you want to assess the impact of a particular any technology, what are the key variables there? So maybe the information availability, credit availability, these will influence the uptake of the technology. You begin all those kind of things rather than, okay, age will influence or experience will influence and all these kind of things. So begin with those kind of things and not that kind of random kind of. Well, friends, for many of us, I found that most of us are agricultural economists. There is a pressing demand from your bosses, your vice chancellor, the directors of the institutes to go for impact assessment of the technology. And the canvas of impact assessment, it has broadened a lot. It is not just you compare the yield or the returns or the cost of production, that everybody can do it. Even if a biological scientist, he can do it. If you ask him, he asks you for the impact assessment, and if you provide this kind of table to him, what happens? He will say, what you know about this? I also can do this kind of impact assessment. So use the appropriate technologies, prove your worth within the biological system. Okay, we are useful. Sometimes, we listen that, okay, I'm not given an opportunity, I'm not given by chance by the director to do this and that. No, you have to prove your worth to the system. Yes, I am important to the system. I am important to the institute, and I have done this kind of impact assessment. So, and then of course let's go beyond the economic impact, estimating benefit cost ratio or internal rate of returns or NPV or all those kind of things. Now go beyond this economic impact. Look for the social impact. What has happened to poverty because of the technological change? What has happened to the nutritional status of the people because of the technology adoption? What are the ecological impacts? Nowadays that ecosystem services, they are becoming, from agriculture, they are becoming very important. But neither our biological scientists nor the economists, they have done much work on valuation of the economic ecosystem services. So this is some of the kind of challenges before agricultural economists. And why? Because this impact assessment is becoming complex. So the complexity is also increasing in the adoption, application of the analytical tools. So we have to match. We have to look for the appropriate tools to address the particular problem. And finally, of course, what I feel that don't, be mechanical in the quest of applying all the 24 techniques to your research problem. Identify one or two. Read the related literature with those technologies, with empirical studies on application of these technologies. So that will help you refine it. Maybe sometime it is frustrating for many of us. Okay, we are not able to apply that. We are not able to get good results. But you have to keep on learning, keep on doing. Okay, this kind of things, doing and learning. So that will help a lot to improve upon your professional capabilities as a researcher, as a teacher, and of course as a when you go to your progression as an administration. So there is a very high demand for this course from most of you. And I assure you that in the future also, we shall organize maybe for a shorter duration, for a week or so, and one or two technologies, two techniques. And then, of course, somebody said that it was a wonderful journey. Let's keep the wonderful journey going on. And thank you, and wish you all the best for your professional endeavors in the future. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much, sir, for your encouraging words and like throwing some challenges and problems which comes while using these techniques for writing the papers for publications. You have also assured that we will be organizing similar programs in offline mode for a shorter time so that the participants can actually use their own data set for that purpose. So we also tried to encourage them to use their own data sets for their group presentations. But of course, online has some limitations, and we'll try to overcome those limitations in future offline training programs. So thank you very much, sir, for giving encouraging tips for publications to the participants of the training program so that they can utilize these techniques in future for their own research. At this time, I would also like to say, participants, whenever you are successful in applying some technique for your research, you can send us email regarding, yes, you were successful in using this technique, which you learned here, and you could publish it. So thank you once again to Professor Bithal for delivering this very informative talk to the participants. Thank you. Now, I would just like to end this session by delivering the formal vote of thanks. First of all, I thank our chief guest come our own head of the family persons for being present here. I would like to give my sincere thanks and gratitude to our director, sir, for being present here throughout this inaugural session, even though he is on vacation to the farthermost place from NIAP. So thank you very much, sir, for being with us, even though you are not at NIAP. I would also like to thank all the faculty members here, who has delivered their talk. Without their lecture, without their interest, such kind of training programs are not possible. I would also like to thank the participants, who has shown keen interest in this training program, and in spite of their routine official duties, which they have to do because this is in online, they have to take classes, they have to do other administrative and teaching tasks in their respective institutes. So who showed keen interest till the last day of this training program. So thank you very much, all participants. I would also like to thank the IT team, especially Mr. Dilip and Mr. Chauhan, who were on their toes throughout the 21 days because with a single lapse in their activity would result in either delay or not getting properly connected. So thank you very much again. I'm really proud of you people that you could manage it so well. I am also thankful to all my colleagues and team members who were with me in organizing this training program throughout, not only when we are having the sessions, especially our actual communication starts after the sessions are over on WhatsApp. We were, communicating with the participants and solving some problems, whatever they are facing, and sharing the recordings. And sometimes they are not opening, then sharing them again. So there are lots of different unique issues and challenges in the training programs, but with the help of our colleagues, cooperative team members, we could face these problems, and we could successfully complete this training program. Finally, I would also like to thank SCSP scheme sponsors, like due to which this training program could be organized and opportunities can be given to this many number of participants for attending analytical techniques lectures for decision making in agriculture. Lastly, my thanks are due to administration and finance for giving their support in conduct of this training. So thank you once again. Thank you each one of you for being with us. Once again, thank you, Professor Birthalji, for
Thank you.
Being part of this valedictory program and also delivering your lectures during the training program. Thank you, Director Sir, once again for providing the necessary guidance and support. Whenever we went, like with some problem, we always guided like how to solve and how to approach that problem. So thank you once again to the entire NIAP as well as the faculty from outside and everyone. Thank you once again. Some participants like requested for resource persons numbers. So as Professor Birthal has rightly said, we shall be sharing you the email address, and like then you can contact with them and you can ask them whatever is required. I think that is a better way of communication. And in case needed, they will always be able to share their numbers. And we are here if you require any other help in future. We will definitely we try to help to the extent possible to us. Regarding the certificates, they will be in online format. They will be emailed to you within a week's time. Thank you, all of you. Thank you once again. Thanks a lot for being with me throughout this journey of winter school from 5th February to 25th today. Thank you, everyone. So
thank you very much, madam.
We would like to have some snapshots and some photographs. So those who have just switched off the video, if they can make it on for some time, I will request co-host and host to take some snapshots so that it becomes, we will post it to the group also, like you can use it. So because we cannot have the formal group photograph, but this is also equally good. So once done, Chauhanji, you can let me know that photo is over. So thank you. I have tried to promote every attendee to this mode, but some probably did not get promoted. So my apologies to them. So thank you once again. Thank you, everyone. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you very much, madam.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes. So we have taken.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, everyone.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you all.
Thank you, madam. Thank you. Thank you, one and all.
Yeah.
Thank you, madam.
Now you can have any informal talks if you want.
Thank you, madam. When we will be getting our certificate, madam?
We will try to send it within a week's time. That also requires a lot of analysis before sending it. So it will be given to those who have actually attended the training program, at least in majority of the days.
Training करेगा ये इन्होंने 25 दिन की 21 दिन की.
So Dr. Vikas Kumar, like I think you are.
कुछ बोल दीजिए विकास.
So if
thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you.
For your kind of cooperation.
Thank you.
And lecture.
So,
thank you.
Any of my team member, if would like to say anything, most welcome now to the participants. विकास जी के forms, I hope सारे हो गए होंगे. नहीं हुए तो you can again remind them. I know it's very hectic to send these forms daily and then noting down the feedback, but he did a good job of sending it to all of you.
Once again, we can request them who are not could not fill the form. They can go home and they can fill and send it. But definitely they need to send it.
Yes, true. These forms, as I told, like certificate.
It is a record for us.
This is a record, and this record has to be sent to ICR also.
Yes.
So better try to do this. So
David, when are you calling us?
Ma'am, I am having one request you, please.
Yes, Dr. Ganga Devi.
Yeah, ma'am, if it is possible, can you provide the compiled PPTs or maybe the reading material or recordings? Because sometimes what happen na, we are not downloaded, all the recordings are not going on. So in some of the recording, the issues are there. So if it is possible, please provide.
Yes,
ma'am,
certainly.
We will try. We will try, madam. But you are telling you could not download it. See, you had only one mission. We had all 170.
I know, sir. I know,
Still,
sir.
we will give. We will give. We will give you the
If
link.
it is possible, I am saying.
Yes,
We'll
sure.
Yeah,
We will give.
We will share the
We'll give.
Yeah, through our website, like as well as through YouTube, and we will send you those links where, like, when you can see at your disposal whenever it is feasible.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Special congratulations and special thanks to Dr. Subhash Chandra sir for his energetic and he is always enthusiasm. With the non-stop,
We don't.
Yes.
point of time.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Special thanks to our entire team, our NIA family, because without their support, it could have not happened today. It was a Herculean task. Still, I'm telling. Thank you very much to all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, all participants. Thank you, all minors.
So we call it a day. So thank you. Like,
Bye. Good luck. All the
future
best.
also,
thank you everyone.
we will keep this group open for some more, weeks or days till you receive your certificate, so that those who have not received, like, we can communicate about what is the status and all. So like you can communicate through that. And of course, you have our emails and contact numbers, so that is not an issue.
Yes.
So thank you. So we are now making it off. So